Oh, never mind. Wrong channel. Man, I keep getting people saying that me and Pippa are the same. Like, we're not. She's a lot more funnier than me. And I don't understand why people think that I'm just using a voice changer or something. That it doesn't even work that way. Hold on. I need to turn the mic. Alright. So, anyway. A little bit drunk, which is going to be perfect for this particular stream. Because we're going to watch some images that look as if they're drawn by people having LSD. I did startle you. I need some intro music. I talked to Lisa Chikafuji, and I want to commission a song from her, but she's a little bit busy dealing with exams and stuff, so once she finishes her exam period, maybe I can commission a background music from her. She does instrumental as well. She's insanely talented. But yes, I am trolling. That is true. Although the fact that people have messaged me saying that V is Pipkin Pippa is a little bit disturbing. Again, like, she's very talented. A lot more talented than I am. At this point, she actually outgrew me. Like, she's got more subscribers. Sorry, not more subscribers. More viewers than me on her live stream. To be fair, though, I have done my utmost best in order to lose viewers from my live stream because I don't want the drama associated with being a big streamer. And that includes not making good thumbnails, that includes deleting live streams, that includes streaming at awkward times. So I did my best in order to lose viewers rather than get, but I think I did a pretty good job at it, to the point where now I'm like, okay, can I get some viewers back, though? It's like, I used to have 600 per stream. Now I get 100, maybe 200, and I don't want any lower. Like, if I get back to the 300 brigade, I would be happy. Anyway, right, Pippa is a dude. She could be. I mean, she spent, what, more than 40 minutes talking about Azure Lane waifus. It's like, shouldn't she talk about dudes like yaoi and stuff, or, you know, the Backstreet Boys or whatever girls are into? I don't know. But it's just like, why are you talking about women, Pippa? Why? I will point this out. You know, like, the conversation of a streaming house, like a streamer house for VTubers. It's very interesting how none of them seem to have boyfriends. That's peculiar, right? I mean, 90% of the female VTuber population is single. Allegedly. Allegedly. Alright, so. Yes, I have reached the level where Biden has more viewers than me. It used to be that I could say I have more viewers than Joe Biden, but now not anymore. So, give me a second. And I will get into the meat of the subject without further ado, because usually I try to drag the time a little bit, you know, run the clock. But now I just want to put my chat on my phone and we can go. By the way, why do gamers keep saying let's go, but they're still standing on their chair? I never understood that. All right. And then, okay. Let's see if I can find out where I saved the folder. Because there's a big folder. I managed to get a lot of these. So basically what these are warning labels. Well, not actually warning labels. They're kind of like memes in a way. You're going to see in a bit what I mean. But they're supposed to warn people of the dangers of electricity. And they're from the 1930s. All right, I think I found it. So I can show my display. There we go. Wanda. Subarashi. If I'm a VTuber, I need to use the language, right? So let me know if you guys can see it. I think you can see it. You should be able to see it clearly, right? Let me make sure that I'm not showing any transgender pornography. I heard that other streamers are dealing with this hassle. Hopefully not here. So back in the day, you would have these images. I don't know if you can call them memes, but they are a good way of conveying information, I suppose. And there were two ways of delivering these, either in newspapers, so like you would see this in a paper, or they would actually be posters on the walls. You would enter a store or a public building, and you'd see stuff like this. That's pretty much how people would meme back in the day. Now, take into account that in 1930, a lot of people were new to the whole concept of electricity. Like, it was kind of like magic for them. The same way, I don't know if Wi-Fi can be compared, because people were kind of used to Wi-Fi. It's very kind of like VR, I suppose, but not even that. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to point out how... It's kind of like when you got your first computer, right? It's kind of like how you got your first computer. So, people didn't really understand the dangers of electricity, and this is why, like, the government tried to make... I guess, like, raise awareness. I love how, like, in this picture, first of all, like, this is not true, right? Like, urine is a good conductor. It conduces electricity quite well, but the distance between the P stream, I think, like, the Mythbusters tried to break it. I mean, look, just, like, theoretically, it should be possible to electrocute yourself if you pee on a electrical device, but at the same time, I guess it would be so rare, because the way the P stream works, right? Like, the P stream is not the uninterrupted stream. Like, there's spaces in it. There, like, the wind plays a factor. So, like, theoretically, you should be fine, but, like, don't do it, you know? I love the way, like, he holds it like a teacup in this particular picture. Like, the pinky finger is all the way up, and his facial expression as well. But you gotta wonder, though, like, who does this, right? So he's on a bridge in a public place. Like, most people who pee in public, they try to not be seen. Thank you for the donation, Roosta. I really appreciate it. Yeah, the only thing I can think is that people peed a lot more in the 1930s. Oh, I think it's like, oh, so hold on. No. Like, what they're really trying to say isn't that you shouldn't pee on it. It's like, you shouldn't touch the metal bar. Like, this is the problem, right? He's touching the metal bar while peeing. So, like, if you want to pee, just don't touch you know, thumbs up for accuracy. I mean, the authoritative sources know best. Man, this is such a bizarre one. Like, I don't even know what the fuck is this device supposed to be. To be fair, though, like, there are so many devices from the 1930s that I have no idea what their function is. I mean, I know this is a pillow. I know this is a blanket. Well, why? Hold on. Why does the bed have a fishnet on it? Like, this is another question. Why is the bed having a fishnet? He's barefoot? No, he's not. He's got one sock. So the artist decided to give the baby one sock. I think, you know what I think this is? I think I may know what it is, chat. I think it's one of those things that is supposed to warm the milk, right? So you put the, like, this is what I think it is. Like, you put this in water, and you have this remote, and you click the button, and it warms up your kettle without having to take it. Oh my fucking god. Like, this is the bourgeois primordial version of the electric kettle, chat. We have finally found it. It's the bourgeois version of the electric kettle. So, you can actually warm water without being in the kitchen. Like, if you're in the baby's room, right? You got a big manor, you got a big house. I don't think it's a bed warmer, right? Because it's too small to be a bed warmer. I think it's just like, you're supposed to put this. Well, actually, no. Like, hold on, because back then they didn't have isolation that good. Like, you are supposed to put the electrical things in water. I have no fucking idea what this is. I don't think it's an electrical milk bottle either. It might be a bottle warmer of some sort, but it's just so... The picture is too small. I mean, use your fucking imagination. What do you want me to do? Like, look. I don't know what this is. Like, I have no idea what this device is supposed to be. But basically what they're trying to say is, like, don't leave it unattended next to children. I think this is the message here. I don't have... If you give me a super chat, Brie, I'll get an electric kettle. How about that? Dude is 6 months old and already had enough. I mean, look, he's trying to avoid getting drafted in World War II. Like, this is a 1930 picture. I don't blame it. Can you imagine, by the way, like, imagine this. You're 6 months old. Like, it's like an isekai. Alright? Like, it's like an isekai. And you're born in 1930. And you know World War II is coming. What do you do? I mean, I wouldn't blame him. Like, Even worse if you're on the German side. Holy shit. Can you imagine? 1930 and you're on the German side. Or the Russian side for that matter. Right. Let me see if I can go. Why can't I skip to the next one? Alright. Isn't this like flamenco's thing? Isn't this flamenco's fetish with like sitting on the wooden horse? Japan wasn't actually, I mean, it depends where in Japan you are. Like if you're in a Japanese village in the middle of goddamn nowhere, you're probably fine. Yeah. But Japan is also messed up. Like can you imagine like being recruited as a kamikaze pilot? Holy shit. But anyway, right, so, eat the cereal, you bigot? Oh my god, like no, because it makes me want to have a conversation about periods. Alright, so, I suppose, like, this one is kind of, common sense, I guess, like, this one is something that I understand. Because I can imagine back then a lot of kids would play outside, you know, they wouldn't have the video games that we're having. And playing with the kite was quite common. I think everyone, even I had the kite. And the possibility of the kite, like flying into the electrical wires was definitely a thing. And what this shows is like not to create a circuit. Right? It doesn't tell you like, don't touch the electrical cable. I kind of love like the fact that they even trusted kids with this information. It's like you can touch the electrical cable, just don't make a circuit. Just don't have both hands creating a full circuit. They would have no problem climbing on the rooftops. Just don't touch. You can touch the wires, actually. Just don't make a circuit. Just only use one hand. Like, if you only use one hand, you're fine. Actually, no, you're not. Hold on. It depends on the material that the house is made out of. Like, if the house is made out of metal, you should... Well, actually, it's best not to touch it at all. But if the house is made out of, like, something that's not metal, you can touch it with one hand. Bonsoir, Michael Guevara. Taking high as a kite to a shocking new level. That is actually absolutely correct. High as a kite. Oh, my God. The thing is, like, if you look at the picture, it's not even tied up in the wire. Like, you can just go on the other side of the house and yank it down. You don't have to climb up. One hand on the wire, one hand on the kite. Yeah, I wouldn't try it either. Because, like, you never know if there's some metal that you're sitting on. And then you can cross the circuit. But basically, like, this is why pigeons, right? Like, why pigeons don't get electrocuted. Because, like, they sit here. But if you had the pigeon in the middle with one leg on the left and with one leg on the right, you would have a pigeon getting electrocuted. If you wear rubber shoes, it depends if you're standing, right? Like, you can wear the mother of all rubber shoes, but if you're sitting on your ass on the rooftop of a house, which is made out of metal, it doesn't matter if you're wearing rubber shoes or not. But if you're standing upwards and you're wearing rubber shoes and you're only touching one wire, then you're fine. I actually don't know what happens if you're wearing rubber shoes and you're touching both wires. I think that might be problematic. By the way, like, what happens if the guy has a penny, like a metal penny in the rubber shoes? The pigeon isn't grounded. Wow, okay, well, thank you, Mr. Physicist. Now I know, like, the pigeon isn't grounded. By the way, can you imagine if the pigeons would actually get electrocuted when they sit on the electrical wires? Like, the amount of bird carcasses you would find would be surreal. Or do you think, like, the pigeons would eventually adapt and just avoid the electrical wires? Because, like, that would also be a possibility, right? The pigeons, like, start to know that they need to avoid the electrical wires. That would be interesting. So imagine an alternative universe where any bird that goes on an electrical wire like this goes zap and dies. I think they may adapt, actually. Anyway. This one, you know, like, the artist made it look like it's pleasureful. Like, the artist actually made... Oh my fucking god, he actually has a boner? This is some accurate level depiction shit. I mean... It looks like the guy is enjoying himself. What the fuck? Like, I want to have what he is having. What? Okay. So... The problem with this, at least from what I get in the image, is that a lot of the things in 9030 weren't isolated. So you shouldn't touch like 2 lamps because you can form a circuit. I don't know though, like, are you telling me that everything had electricity on the outside? Because this would be like quite of a big problem, right? Like, even if you're not touching another metal thing, like you can touch your bed, or you can touch, I don't know, a railing or something. And if you're holding a lamp, then bzzz. Yeah, the artist who made this probably drew adult commissions as well. That's actually happening in Brazil. Pigeons don't hang on wires, only on top of lamp. Get the fuck out. That is way beyond bad isolation. I think like it's trying to tell you that you should be careful just in case. But even then... Okay, fine, you're not touching the lamp. But back then they made beds out of metal. So, like, the bed frame was made out of metal. I had one of them when I was a kid. So, you could still touch your bed, technically. Like, you'd have other problems than touching, like, 2 lamps. Yeah, this is definitely like a lawsuit in the making. That's how you should type the name of this photo. A lawsuit in the making. I just chose this one because I liked it. It just reminded me of stuff. Of the good old days when the gas prices were low and the journalists were livid. Did you notice that the more angry the blue check marks are, the better your lifestyle is? I just noticed that my living standards is directly correlated with how angry the blue check marks are. The more angry they are, the better I am having it. But the more calm and happy they are, the worse my lifestyle is. I still don't know what the fuck with the orb was. Like, it was so fucking bizarre. It's like one of those things where adults, I guess, like, try to be edgy. I don't get it. It's like, let's touch this. It's like, touch it. Wait, was she touching it as well? Why was she touching it? She's just married to the man. Okay, fine. Let's go back. What the fuck is happening here? So first of all, I didn't know that they had headphones in 9030. But I guess it makes sense. Like, if you have a telephone, you can have headphones. I guess she wishes she would have used the hands-free version, right? The orb was the spice melange, Jesus. Yeah, but the thing is, like, in 9030, I didn't know they used electrical iron machines. Because, like, the way my grandmother had the ironing... Sorry about that. And the way my parents also had the ironing, they would turn on the fire. So whether you had, like, a fireplace or whether you had, you know, like a normal stove... you would just turn on the fire, and this was made out of iron, and you would leave it on the fire until it was red hot, and then you'd use it to iron your clothes. So it was like no electricity required, but I guess like this is a very bourgeois lady, and this is why she's using this shit. And what they're trying to, I mean, is it really, what was it really this draconic? Like, you don't be on the telephone while you're ironing. The thing is, like, I know my grandmother had a lot of weird rules that no one applies now. So, for example, one of the rules that my grandmother had was always turn off the lights when there's a storm outside. Now, I don't know anyone that actually turns off their computer when there's a storm outside. My grandmother wouldn't even leave the television open if there was a storm outside. I'm pretty sure, like, the way the electricity system now is being built, like, it's got a lot of fail safes, and if lightning strikes and there's a power outage, you probably are fine. Like, not a lot of stuff breaks in your house. But, apparently, like, back then, maybe it did. Kind of weird, though. Like, she never pulled the refrigerator out of the socket. Oh, I got a super chat. Give me a second. Master Dravla, thank you for the 5 Norwegian kroners. Look up Topsy the Elegant. Just do it. Master Dravla, if you want me to interrupt my stream and my flow, I'm not doing it for 5 Norwegian kroners, even though I appreciate the super chat. I'll look it after, though. I need to have the flow. Like, I need to be considerate to the other people watching this. So anyway, I don't get it though. Like, she's just having the headphones, and they're not even like the headphones from the phone. Like, they seem to be going from a different device. But yeah, I guess the moral is like, don't tire it. Also, I love this device. I guess it makes sense to have it, right? Like a place where you set the iron. Now you just, like this part right here isn't hot. So you can just tilt it. You put it like that, that's tilted. But back then, I guess they had this. You should still unplug your devices during a lightning storm. Things can still arc over given enough voltage. I mean, I guess, but like, I don't know people who do it. I don't do it. My neighbors don't do it. My friends don't do it. I've never heard someone say, oh my god, like, the lightning. It was 50 and it fits the theme. Alright, fine. If it was 50 Norwegian kroners, you're right. So, Topsy the Elegant. Alright, hold on, guys. We gotta do it. You know, if it's a yellow super chat, my hands are tied. Topsy the Elegant. What the fuck am I looking at, man? I don't get it. So this is what I found when I look for Topsy the Elegant. Okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure you wanted me to see something else, but that's what came up. I'm not going to be on a quest for discovery. All right, I already did my best. I did my utmost best. So I'm sorry if my best wasn't good enough, but we need to go back to the electricity. Ah. I don't even fucking know what this is, chat. I don't even fucking know what this is, but perhaps someone can translate. Initially, I thought that it's a white woman moment. But no. I mean... Elephant. I'll look after. He meant bad dragon. What? Okay, so don't do this. I guess... This is a light bulb, yeah? And then the cow, which was getting milked. Although it kind of looks like a bull, to be honest. The way it's being drawn with the horns and stuff. It's got its tail wrapped around the thing. Like the lamp. And when the lady touched it, like she formed an electrical current. I don't know. I don't think it's a shower. It looks... more like a light bulb. Why would you put a cow under a shower anyway? Electrocuted cow by the titty. I don't think they had an electric milk sucker in the 1930s. You need to take into account the time period we're talking about. They were still primitive people with primitive tools. But I don't want to see this. Like, I wonder if there's even a single case where this happened. when a lady electrocuted the cow, like she was like Raiden. She touched the cow and the cow went bzzz. All right, let me check. What? Topsy the elephant. All right, fine. God. This is the last time, alright? Even if you give super chats after this. If I fail, I fail. So, Topsy the elephant. Electrocuting an elephant. Holy fucking shit. Okay, it did happen. Topsy was a female Asian elephant who was electrocuted in 1993. She was secretly brought in the US. Blah, blah, blah. She was involved in several well-publicized incidents. Either due to her drunken handler or the park's new publicity-hungry owners. The event was limited to invited guests and press only. And Thompson and Dundee agreed to use a more sure method of strangling the elephant with large ropes tied to a steam-powered winch, which both piston and electrocution planned for a good measure. A measure supported by the ASPCA. Well, I mean, if the experts agreed, if the scientific consensus said that it's okay. So, Topsy was fed carrots, laced with 460 grams of potassium cyanide, electrocuted and strangled, the electrocution being the final cause of death. Why the fuck did they do this? It is probably the first filmed death of an animal in history. She fell into obscurity for the next 70 years, but has become more prominent in popular culture, probably to the fact that the film of the event still exists. The fuck? But why though? Why? I mean, okay, so having an elephant was probably very expensive. I mean, procuring one in the US probably cost a lot of money, so why just kill it? What the fuck is wrong with these people? Jesus Christ. Why did I need to see this? Why do Norwegians show me this bizarre shit? I didn't need this in my life. I could have lived without knowing this. Why am I being trolled? But even it was for science. Like, what exactly did they learn? What didn't they know? And after this, they learned. And not to mention, it was an elephant, not beagles. Like, if it was beagles, I would have understood. Beagles and Fauci. But no, like, it wasn't that. It was just an elephant. What the fuck? Jesus. I didn't need to know that. Alright. But these level of memes. These level of 1930 memes. Remember, kids, electricity will kill you. It's like, look, if you want kids... Like okay. So this is like a public safety announcement, right? But why is electricity like smiling? Like, why does it look friendly and like a good guy? Like, shouldn't it look menacing? But no, it looks like a friend. It looks like it's your buddy. And it's... And I also like the fact that it's got like the plaster. I noticed that Japanese do this a lot in anime. Like when it's a young character, they put that plaster on it. Shanked by electricity. It looks more like getting bugged by a light bulb. If I tilt my head, it looks more like that. He looks unhinged. I'd be afraid. I don't know if he looks unhinged. He looks happy to see you. It's almost like he's going to show you a knife trick. You know what I think? I think that he just took the knife away from the kid so that the kid doesn't hurt himself. It's like, let me hold this knife, kid. I also want to remind people that there are places in the world that look like this. And I assume that in 1930, maybe things did look like this. Because you gotta understand, like, in most modern countries, people bury their electrical cables, but there are places in the world that don't. And it looks like I would be able to charge my phone just by walking in that neighborhood. Is the knife a conductor? I mean, in that situation, maybe. I mean, dude, this looks like Mulan. Mulan. So what the hell is that? That's a water heater, right? Like, it's a boiler, I suppose? Oh, now I see. Okay. So because the boiler has a fault, like I guess like the insulation gave out. So now there's a short circuit. And because she sits with her ass on the drain, she's making an entire circuit. But like, even then, I don't know if they would install, like, okay, so what's the moral of this story? Like, don't use the boiler when in the tub. But like, okay, but like, you need to use the water. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's been wired incorrectly? Is this what you... Because I don't understand. Like, you're supposed to use this, right? Like, you can't just not use it. So, you turn it on, right? You fill the bathtub. And then when you want to shower, you have to turn the nozzle. Unless maybe you weren't supposed to. Like, maybe, you know, when they invented this thing, you would just fill in the bathtub and that's it. Like, you're not showering, you're not doing anything, you're just using the water in the tub to wash yourself. Right? Like, I used to do this under communism. So under communism, we didn't have hot water running. Like, you only had hot water in some days. And what you did if you wanted to wash in the other days, you would take a big pot, you would place it on the kitchen stove, you would warm the pot, and then throw it in the bathtub. And then you would quickly warm another pot, and you throw that in the tub as well. So you had 2 pots of water, and you use that to wash yourself. Opponents of electricity made posters like this. I never thought about it. Like, maybe this is not an actual safety poster, but it's like someone that opposed the electricity. Like, I'm pretty sure there must have been people back then that opposed innovation. Because, like, you always have in society people who are flat out against innovation. So they would have probably be like, oh, electricity bad. And they would just try to oppose it. So they would probably make these posters. Like, that makes a lot more sense now that I'm thinking about it. But I don't have any... I don't have any evidence to support this claim. But it would be interesting, yeah, like electrical deniers, electricity conspiracy theories, let's call it like that. Electrical conspiracy theorists. Alright, come on, we got more pictures to go through. Luddite propaganda. I love that. Luddite propaganda. I chose this because I just found it funny, but it's like, is nuclear power the answer? Kid, I'd bet your life on it. So this is, I think after Chernobyl exploded, right? Because up until then, nuclear was considered safe. But because the Russians fucked it up, a lot of movements within that were actually pro-Russian, and they were in the West. They tried to get the West to dismantle its electrical power. So, the Green Movement in Germany, for example, worked tirelessly in order to get Germany to shut down its nuclear reactors. But again, it's all because of Chernobyl. And Chernobyl exploded because Russia was authoritarian and it skipped on a lot of its safety measures. It hid actual science from the scientists. It ran on secrecy where the people at the top didn't care about the inputs from the people at the bottom. It was due to nepotism. Like the people on the top were selected not because they were competent, but because they were connected. This is, I mean, okay. First of all, I would like to point out her face. Like, this artist is probably not going to get a lot of hentai commissions. To be honest, like, I'm looking at her face, and what I think that I see is a look of great concern. Like, hashtag concern. This is, whenever I'm going to talk about blue check marks being concerned, I'm going to show this face, because it really symbolizes the level of concern. And then it's also a very progressive one. Like, a lot of people in the chat noticed. It looks like a pro-trans picture. I mean, this does seem like a lady that would get angry if you mistake the pronouns. Holy shit, like, look at the size of this bucket, man. Like, this is the biggest bucket that I have. It reaches her knee. How big is this fucking bucket? She should be concerned because the floor is on fire. I love the fact that like, even though the floor is on fire, like, she keeps mopping. Like, yeah, fine. It's alright. So, I guess, like, what this tries to say is don't use water on electric cables. Because, like, she used the mop, she put the mop in water, and then when she moved it over the electric cable, it caused a spark, and now the mop is on fire. It's not that it's wood and electricity, it's water and electricity, right? So, she used the water from the bucket, and then went bloop, 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 and put it here, and then psh, caught fire. Yeah, now she's mopping up the fire. Exactly. She's like, I don't like the fire in this picture. So this is Russian. I don't know what the fuck it means, but I guess it shows this guy putting a sharp object in an electrical socket. So you're not supposed to do this. Wait. Hold on. I just realized something. Her look of annoyance says that this is happening a lot of times when she mops. I guess, I mean, if you look at the wire, it got 1, 2, 3 cuts in it. So it does probably happen quite often. This is not Russian. It's not even Cyrillic. You know what? Now that you say it, I think you're right. It's not Hungarian either. Yeah, it's possibly Polish. I think it might be Polish, chat. Yeah, you're right. The skeleton breaking the fourth wall. You know, if this were to happen in my grandmother's village, people would cheer. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Pita would cheer, right? But, I mean, look. This pose would be probably the most epic pose that he ever had in his life. He looks like Thor, God of Thunder. He looks like he's about to smite this horse with lightning. Like, horse, if you don't hurry up, I swear to God, I'm going to smite you. Horse, don't test me. God damn it, horse! I shall smite at thee. Man, like, this to me looks like how you can use, like, how you can funnel the power of electricity to smite your animal, your beast of burden. Dude died, yeah, this dude died as a Chad. special move, Electro Whip. You know, like, he probably... The way I view it, like, if this was in a video game, I would see, like, he's charging up his melee to do some electricity damage on top of, like, the blood damage. He's borrowing power from the gods. And the horse is freaking out because he knows what's going to happen next. Man, imagine if he actually doesn't die and he just like smacks the horse with the electric whip. Like, that would be also an interesting thing, right? Like, if in real life you could just store the electricity in this, like, you don't get hurt, right? But he like stores the electricity and does added damage to the horse. Like, the horse doesn't know what hit it. The horse is like, what the fuck was that? That's not the regular whip. It's like, you know, he tried to smack the horse several times in order to make it go faster, and he's not satisfied. So now this is his ultimate. He just pressed R on the keyboard and he's charging it up. It's like, it's like smacking the horse. The horse is like, oh my fucking god. This is just... The horse gets the zoomies. You know what I think? This is like the rural electrical car. Yeah, absolutely. This is what Klaus Schwab wants you to have, right? Like, he wants electric cars. Like, the horse has carbon emissions, but this is now an electric horse. It drives faster, so it shits less. And it burps less. The horsepower version of a sports car, yeah. Well, you know, like, the thing is, he probably would be fine, cause he's not grounded. Like, if you do this, you won't get hurt, because, first of all, okay, so I don't know if these are rubber boots or not, but I'll assume they are. He's not grounded. So theoretically, he should be fine. I don't know about the horse, though. Like, if you imagine just to smack the horse while there's still, like, an electric car, that would be interesting. Yeah, I mean, okay, this one is legit, right? So if you see an electric cable dangling on the ground, leave it the fuck alone. Like, avoid it. I should go to the nearest farm and do this. I'd rather not. Man, this looks like a good advice. You know, here's another advice. And there's actually a lot of people that died this way. It's like someone gets electrocuted, and your first reaction is to help them. But when you touch them, you get electrocuted as well. So this can actually happen. And the advice is, like, if you see someone getting electrocuted, what you need to do is to find a wood, like a stick or something like that, and try to push them away. But, like, don't take a rock and try to throw at them, hoping that they're going to fall back, because they might not. It's actually, like, really nasty, because when you get electrocuted, your hand instantly clenches. Like, that's the instinct that your hand has, and if you're not getting pushed away, if you're not getting thrown away by it, that's how you die, because you literally just don't have the muscle power to open your hand anymore. So you just stay there clenched, and the electricity stops your heart. I genuinely, like, don't understand what is with the fascination that they have with skeletons. Like, I guess, like, this kid tried to get his kite back, but from the looks of it, like, the skeleton is trying to help him. It's like, no, don't fall. I'll hold you. I'll catch you. It depends on the current. Oh, I see. Man, I'm not a physicist. I do know some of the things that we got taught in med school about giving first aid. Like, apparently the most important thing about giving first aid is to make sure that the person offering the aid isn't in any danger. So the first thing you need to look around is for any electric cables, gases, toxic fumes. right? Because like you don't want the other person that comes after to have to rescue two people rather than one. So that's really the first step of basic first aid. It's like make sure, like check the area, right? Make sure that there aren't any dangers. And one of them is like if the person is electrocuted, don't touch them. I suppose like if you have rubber boots, but like let's be honest, who just has the rubber boots on? The best thing is like get a big stick, right? Because sticks don't conduct electricity. Get a big stick and try to push the person away or yank the person away or anything that you can. I guess like a cable could kind of work. Like if it's a insulated cable, right? You could just wrap it around them and try to pull them. The whole idea is to try to yank the person away from the electrical thing. Look for toxic fumes. Yeah, I mean, if it's a house that's filled with smoke and you don't have a gas mask or anything like that, yeah, don't go. That's what it talks about, right? But you can also make sense whether or not there's smoke inside. Whether or not there's fumes. Simply based on the fact, like, if someone is there and it's flat out on the ground and another person goes to rescue and they fall flat out on the ground, yeah, chances are there's something in the air there. There was actually a case in my country where 5 people died like that. So I think it was like carbon monoxide. So carbon monoxide is really fucked up because it can actually connect with I think it's been a while since I've been to med school, and honestly biochemistry was never my strong suit. But I think like carbon monoxide can cause a strong chain with the oxygen in your blood. So you're basically like kind of suffocating like that because you don't have oxygen anymore. And it's a strong link. So it's a completely binding link like that. So it's a very toxic fume, right? But it's also odorless. You don't know that it's there. And it was like in a lab, if I'm not mistaken, like they made a reaction which caused it. So the first person died. Second person went after them, died. Third person went after them, died. And at one point they realized, it's like, okay, well, it's probably something in the air. Yeah, with the hemoglobin. Yeah. It does a strong binding. And it makes your hemoglobin useless. It can't carry oxygen anymore. Yeah, I do remember a little bit, right? It's been, what, like 5-6 years since I finished? And if you add... I did biochemistry in the second year, so that would probably be like 8-9 years since I've talked about this. Carbon dioxide gets all the flack for carbon monoxide. Yeah. V is a bad doctor for getting his med school education. Man, it can happen. Like, if you don't use the knowledge you learn, you're going to forget it. There's no other way around it. Like, if you don't just practice... you're going to forget stuff really quickly. I didn't know they would have Boris Johnson in a 1930 depiction. And I love, like, the sadism of this. Like, the kid gets electrocuted, then Boris Johnson goes, like, cheers. You know, like, this might actually be the, what was it, the London party? Like, when London was in a lockdown, Boris Johnson and his ilk were celebrating and they were having this big party. So maybe this is why we're looking at it. I know, this is really Boris. It's Boris Johnson. He's even blonde. He's even got like the body size for it, the body type. And he's cheering that this kid is getting electrocuted. Now, what I keep noticing is that there is this constant theme of like not touching metal when you're using electrical devices. So if you're touching the Christmas tree lights, do not have your hand on the radiator. Like, this is the theme that I keep getting. It's like, whenever operating electrical devices, keep your hands off other electrical stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's also the face, the slouching poise, that, like, yeah, this is boring. This was drawn in 1930, alright? So, I guess, like, the Christmas tree light got wrapped up in the chandelier. How often does this happen? Like, what are the odds? What are the chances that The Christmas tree lights touches the chandelier. The kid is touching the radiator and he is touching the light, and this is how he causes a current. Not to mention, like, I'm not an expert, but I don't think, like, there's 230 volts in the Christmas light anyway. Like, if anything, the kid would get the annoying zap, but it wouldn't be enough to actually hurt him. Often enough to make a drawing about it. I honestly think, like, someone was asked, like, hey, make some drawings about electricity bad, and that was it. Yeah, we did discuss the fact that this may or may not be Boris. Someone claimed that this is a Hanukkah tree because of the star. Fucking bullshit. Like, in my country, everyone has a Christmas star. This is not the Star of David. This is the, okay, it's supposed to be the star that the Magi used in order to find Jesus. So, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but no, it's not a Hanukkah tree. We had this in, we have this in Orthodox Christianity. So this is the star that symbolizes the one that the Magi saw in order to track down Jesus. Like, the star that doxed baby Jesus. But I want to show you something else that's interesting, right? And it blew my mind when my mom told me. Like, I refused to believe it. But apparently it was true. So, people used to have actual candles in the fucking Christmas tree. Actual candles. Do you guys understand what this means? Like, the danger of fire was probably quite high. I mean, imagine putting all these candles in a goddamn Christmas tree. And then lighting them up. And then hoping that none of the Christmas tree leaves catches fire. Why did people do this? It's not even protected or anything. It's like they're in the open. Like, when my mom told me, I refused to believe it. I thought, no, mom, that's way too fucking retarded. That is so retarded. Now, I know that it looks nice, but you know what doesn't look nice? A Christmas tree on fire inside your house. That probably doesn't look nice. I mean, I am willing to bet that they wouldn't leave it unsupervised, right? So, like, they probably wouldn't go to sleep with the candles on. I get that. But, like, first of all, so the mess that it would cause because all the wax would go down. But even then, it's like, okay, so what if there's, like, a tree branch which touches or is in close proximity enough to catch fire? You're fucked. Oh, don't be stupid about the placement. Yeah, because, like, okay, you know, I like to think about risk and reward, chat. Like, the risk is that your house catches fire. The reward is that you get some pretty lights. Fuck that shit. You know, if the reward was like you get $1 million, then fine. You know, like, oh, okay. The kid getting electrocuted is clearly way more dangerous than the open fire next to dry wood. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like, the fire next to dry wood. I don't think, like, they would have lit the candles, like, in the last day of, you know, of having the Christmas tree up, because, you know, they start withering and stuff, so I get it, but still. Why does this guy look like a fucking villain? Like, this looks like some mastermind which is trying to invent the Doom Laser. I don't even know what he is doing. I guess, like, the idea is that don't try to tinker with electrical devices by yourself. I think this is like a Morse code machine, you know, that's what I think it may be. I'm not sure, but, like, what the fuck is he doing? And why does he look like this? Oh yeah, he does look like Dr. Fauci. Oh my god, you're right. So, if the previous one looked like Boris Johnson, this does look like Dr. Fauci? Buy some lawn gnomes to decorate your yard. We don't do that in Romania, actually. Like, I never get the whole lawn gnomes thing. Like, it just looks weird to me. I would rather buy some cool flowers. But thank you for the donation, Elena. I really appreciate it. this. Like, okay, so the first one, like up till this point, I understand, right? Like it's don't play with electricity. Electricity bad, it can harm you. But like, is the goose going to understand what it's doing? And why are the other geese laughing at this poor goose? Is this goose? It's so stupid. I think like maybe the moral of the story is like don't leave electric cables on the floor because the geese might bite on them. But like, because like I don't get for who this like who is the target audience for this. Yeah, this goose is cooked. But like, who is the target audience for this? Because the geese aren't going to understand. And I found like a lot of animals as well. Like, I guess this is for sparrows. Like, do not fuck while on the electrical cord. Like, what the fuck? Wait. Hold on. So you have like this is a barn. Oh yeah, I guess like back then they didn't do the electric cables through the walls, so they would have been visible, right? So they're trying to light up the light bulb here and the light bulb there, and I guess it tries to say that birds can get electrocuted if this is too close to each other. Like maybe, you know, I'm thinking like maybe this is supposed to be like a PETA type of thing where they're like warning about the dangers that electricity can have to live animals. So it's like, you know, like the Luddite propaganda. It's like, hey, if you use electricity, look, animals are suffering from it because you can have a loose cable and a goose might try to pick at it. Or you may have two birds that are sitting on the cables and they might get electrocuted. Or you might have like this cat and mouse. Like the mouse gets electrocuted and then your cat dies as well. I wonder if this actually happened anywhere. Like a mouse getting electrocuted and the cat tried to bat at it and then the cat gets electrocuted as well. It does look like pro-Amish early PETA propaganda. This may be the dangerous Edison current as opposed to the safe Tesla alternating current. I have no idea. I don't know what these pictures are, Chad. Like your guess is as good as mine. It does look like some of them are like what Luddites would do, like pro-Luddite propaganda and be like, all right, never do this at home type of thing. I mean, Jesus Christ. I love how like the dog isn't like stepping on the cable or anything. No, like he does it in style, you know? Like the dog is like, if I'm going to get electrocuted, might as fucking well, you know? No, I do think like these look more like animal awareness, you know, like some like they're trying to raise the sensibilities of animal lovers and be like, okay, don't use electricity because animals get hurt. It's kind of like the movement that I have in my country right now, which is like don't use firecrackers and you know, like New Year's fireworks because animals get hurt. There was a battle between Edison and Tesla. I'll actually have to read on that because it sounds interesting. Black flag. What the fuck, black flag? So, okay, King of Diamond, chopstick. So, oh yeah, like, don't put chopsticks. It's not chopsticks, hold on. This is, oh my god, okay, so this is the electric socket. And this dumb bitch is putting a hairpin in the electric sockets. I mean, this is really good advice, okay? Don't do it. Like, my grandma was probably the first one that told me, like, don't do it. Um, I, however, had like a metal pin, and I would alternate it between one socket and another, and I was fine, and I was so happy. And my grandmother gave me like the biggest ass whooping when she found out what I was doing. This to me, like, this blew my fucking mind, chat. So there used to be car surfing or bus surfing, right? And apparently, like, this shows that in 1930, people were like doing what, like, cart surfing. So they had like the cart filled with hay, and they were standing on top of it, according to this image at least. And he bumped his head into the electric cable. Like, who is dumb enough in order not to notice, like, when you're driving the horse? Is that correct though? Like, you're driving the horse, and you're bumping your head on the electric cable, like, not noticing it. And then you have like this lady which touches the lamp. Again, it's, man, it's the whole thing. It's like, don't touch metal while you're touching electrical devices. I'm wondering how much of the electrical devices in 1930 had electricity not isolated properly. Because, like, this is a current theme. Like, never touch metal while touching an electrical device. This is, like, constant throughout the whole stream. We've seen it. And then it's like, what, minor threat? So I don't even get it. Like, this guy is hovering in midair. I thought that, like, is this the wall rider? Like, what the fuck is happening? Is it like oh, I think he, okay, so they're playing a prank on this guy, I guess. They tied a string to an electrical device, and when the guy tried to open the door, he got electrocuted. Okay. I think this is an attempted murder, to be honest. Like, I think if you do this, you're going to end up in prison. It depends on the electrical volt, obviously. Like, if it's just a minor shake down, I guess. If it's a minor zap, then it's fine. But if you're going to hospitalize the man, or worse, like, it could be an attempted murder. It's just a prank. Well, they are laughing. I mean, look. Who the fuck has like a light bulb literally next to the water? Like, this is the weirdest picture ever. Cause, like, on one hand, like, down here, you have Return to Monkey, where people are washing by the river. And up here you have like the electricity, you know, like the modernity coming into tradition. And again, like, the faces, man. Like, the faces, look at it. Yeah, how low would the lamp need to be? It's so weird. But yeah, I guess it's like trying to tell people, like, do not try to change the light bulb while being wet. Do not touch the light bulb while being wet. Yeah, it's basically like avoid using water next to electricity. This is common sense. What the fuck is this? Oh, I guess, like, don't leave it on while you're asleep. The same people who nowadays have hair blower near the shower. Do those people exist? This is actually a really good one. So I thought about it a lot, but, like, what it tries to say is that you need to have good insulation. I mean, in Australia, for example, I heard that there's a lot of power outages because rodents constantly chew the cables. Now, funny enough, this actually exists in a museum for some goddamn reason. So this guy, he was touching the metal railing, and as he was backing down, like, his ass cheeks got burnt. And his pants are in a museum. I can't make up the text, but it's a thing. Speaking of hair blower, again, it's like, just don't touch metal. That's literally the whole thing. Like, don't touch metal when you're dealing with electrical devices. Man, the 1930s would have been awful. Like, you need to be constantly aware when you're touching something that can carry electricity, because, like, you can get electrified. Now, I gotta say, chances were you didn't have that many electrical devices in the 30s. But, like, that seems to be the thing. Don't touch metal when you're operating with anything that's electric. So, yeah, this is pretty much it, chat. I hope you enjoy some of them. Alright, hold on. Let me just close. Holy shit, I got so many tabs open. So many tabs. Anyway, I should probably go to bed now, because I've been up for a while. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the comment section. And if you like this, consider subscribing. Sharing the stream around would help, because again, I did my best in order to stay small, and I tried to get rid of some of my subscribers, and the way I did it is like I deleted a lot of streams. I made sure that I don't upload on a normal schedule and all of that. But I think I did a too good of a job, so now I need more subscribers. So if you guys can share my streams, if you appreciate them, if you like them, please share them around. I would appreciate that. And hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.